Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So in this video, I'm just going to talk about my entire 6 years experience in Canada, how I went through it and how it was. So it's going to be like a long-term review of how I went through like each stage, and I'm just going to talk about that. So that's going to be this video. And before that, please do like, share, comment to the video, subscribe to the channel. Also, don't forget to press the bell icon so you get updates when I post more videos. So let's not wait, we'll go into the video. So I'm going to divide this video into like 4 different parts. So it's going to be like student, worker, PR, and citizen. So I'm just going to talk about like each area like one after the other. So the first thing is going to be like student. So that's where it's all started. Like, so it's in 2016, as some of you know, like if you're following me through. So I came here in 2016 and as an international student. So I just did like an 8 months program. So it was technically like a 1 year program. So it was very short, and I didn't get to like be in the college and be in that college scenario for a very long time. So it was very very quick, and I just like that I got graduated. So it was very quick. So it was a very short period, but I did learn a lot of things because it was completely new to me. I haven't been to another country before that, so this was the first time. And that a whole like student and like doing part-time and all those things, like that's why I learned lots of stuff and how things work here. So, and I think I did around like 5 to 6 different part-times like in that 8 months. So that was also like a very good experience. And for anyone who's coming as a student, like I would tell you guys to like actually go for part-time, because it's actually like an experience where you can learn. Another thing about like doing 1 year program is like many people, how what they ask me right now is how you can get a PR with like just 1 year programs. It's not risky. But the thing for me was, when I was coming here and when I was doing college, like I didn't really know that it was a risky thing to like take a 1 year program, because I didn't even like think about that a lot. So it was very easy for me. I didn't think about like that side of things. I just thought like, let's do like whatever it is, like we'll see when the PR thing comes. So that's how I was doing it. So because of that, like I didn't really stress out about the PR thing or anything. But it is like possible, because that's how I got my PR. I did a 1 year program. And so it's not like it's impossible, you have to do a 2 year program, or it's nothing like that. But it is a possible way, because many people do that. I have also done it. So if you are just worrying about like that you won't get a PR if you do a 1 year program, I don't think that's actually true. And also another good thing for me was, because this is like the most important point if you are going for a PR from a 1 year program, is to make sure that you get a job immediately after you finish your college. So at least like around like the end of like the last week of your college, or just after you finish your college, you should get a job like around that time. So that's gonna be like your only important requirement to like become eligible to get a PR. So for me that was a good thing, because I got a job like around like the last week of college. So I didn't really have like any break after finishing college. I just finished college, and probably I had like a week, and then like I started my first job. So that was an advantage for me, and it would be an advantage for anyone who's taking a 1 year program. So basically like this entire student part, like the only thing I want to say is this, because make sure like you get a job immediately after college if you're going for the PR route after 1 year program. So I have told this in like many videos, my previous videos, but yeah, I just want to stress this point again. And if you want to know about like the student process in detail, I have another video. I'll put the link here. You can watch that. And after finishing college, like I just started working immediately. So that was a huge change from like the student lifestyle, because student lifestyle is like the hardest of all these things, because you have to go to college, you have to do your assignments, you have to go for part-time and do like 3 different things at the same time. But like once you finish that, and once you start doing like full-time job, like you're just gonna go to work and come back home. That's gonna be like your only thing. So it's gonna feel easier compared to like student. But thing is like it's gonna be like a full-time job, so you pretty much spend like most of the time there. And it was exciting for me when I started my first job. And also during this part, like I did get a job immediately, but the thing is like that wasn't the job I was looking for. It wasn't actually in VFX. It was something related to VFX, which I wasn't really fond of. I wanted to do like actual. I wanted to work in an actual VFX studio and doing like VFX stuff and compositing stuff. So, but I didn't get something like that. But I didn't have any other option than to like just take whatever I have, because we have to pay rent, and like there's so many different expenses for that. So you have to cover those things. Uh, so I had to take like whatever I got just for that time. And I did work in my first job for like 3 months, and then like I was constantly looking for other jobs during that time, and then I got another junior composer job like in another studio. So once I got that, I think it took me like 3 months to get that. So once I got that, I just left this job and I switched over to that. I think I worked around like for a year there, and by that time I became eligible for Express Entry to apply for PR. So after a year, I just got like employment letters from these two places, and I applied for PR. This is also like a not like a really long period. It was a little more than a year, but yeah, it was totally different. They just teach you like the basics, what you need to know to start working in a studio, but then like you learn so much of other stuff like when you actually start working in a studio. So that's when I learned a lot of things like related to VFX. So that was also a good period, and I did start working on like movies and stuff, and I used to see my names on the credits of movies, and that was like a whole different feeling, like because it's like the first time for me. So, and only around like the end of that completing that 1 year of work, I started thinking about this PR thing, because that was the next step for me, because I didn't really think about it when I was a student, because I had like a work visa after that. I had to finish 1 year of work, so I didn't really think about that. But around like the end of this period, like is when I started like, okay, we have to do the PR thing. It's now we have to do it now. So that's like the next step. So that's when I started thinking about it and started preparing for IELTS and all those things. And if you want to know like how the work processes and how to apply for PGWP and what happens if your PGWP expires and all those things, I have separate videos for those things. I'll put the links here. Coming to the PR stage, it was pretty long. Just like the application process and like the processing time and all those things, that itself was like pretty much around like 6 months. So from the time I started preparing for IELTS to the time I got my PR, it was almost like 6 to 7 months. So it was that itself was a really long period, and it was a really long process for me at that time. And also like, though I didn't think about like what to do for the PR thing and all that, I always had it in mind like that was eventually the process I'm gonna go for that entire 2 years, like from the time I came to Canada to the time like I started applying for PR and I got the PR. Like I just had the goal of getting the PR. So, and then like once I got the PR, I didn't really know like what was next. So because all the 2 years it was just PR for me, and then like I just got that, and once I got that, I didn't really know like what was the next step to do, and it was just blank for me. So because I had a goal to go and I didn't have anything after that point. If you want to know about the permanent resident process and express entry process in detail, like I have a separate video for that. I'll put the link here. So a few months after getting my PR, like I was simply just browsing on the internet, and I just came to know about like the citizenship process, and I can actually become a citizen after like a certain time of being a PR. So that was interesting for me, and so I thought like, but it was a long wait for that. I think it was pretty much like 2.5 years wait for that. But eventually I'm gonna be here. I know that. Like, so I knew that at that time. So I'm gonna be here for the next 2 or 2.5 years. So I thought like, okay, we'll keep that as like the next thing to do. So there was something to look for in that case. So I just wanted to get the citizenship. I wanted to get the Canadian passport. So because it was a better way to travel for me personally. So I just kept that as like the next step. But the thing for citizenship was like, I didn't have to really do anything except to just wait, because citizenship is just waiting period. So you just have to be in Canada for a certain number of days to become eligible for citizenship. So that was the basic requirement for citizenship. So I didn't really have anything like writing an exam or getting any other documents or anything, because you will pretty much have like all the documents they need for citizenship once you get your PR. So they don't really ask for anything new except for you to like stay in Canada and be a PR for 2 years. So I have to be a PR for 2 years. So it was just like a waiting time for me. So I became eligible like last year. And this was like the longest time I waited for something like, to switch status or whatever it is. Even like waiting to become eligible, and also like the waiting period for the citizenship process. Like that was like the longest time I have waited for like something to process. It was just 4 months for me for the PR, and that was actually long for me at that time. But citizenship took me like 14 months to process. So that was like the longest I waited. I actually lost my patience for citizenship. So after like 14 months, I just got my citizenship like 2 months back. It's been just like 2 months, and honestly, like I don't really feel any difference of being a citizen and being a PR like for now, because I've just finished the process. I just received the document and I haven't received my passport or anything yet. So probably once I receive my passport and once I start traveling, I might feel the difference. But for now, like I don't really feel a difference because nothing has changed much from the time like I was a PR. I'll keep you posted like how it is, like how it's traveling and all those things, like if you keep following the channel. And if you want to know the entire citizenship process and how the entire process was and how I went through each stage of the process, like I have a separate video I've posted for that. I'll put the link here. So that was pretty much like the entire process of like those 4 different stages like I came through to the present point. So as a whole, like I would say like this is like the fastest 6 years in my life, because I don't feel I actually went through like 6 years to do this, because I even now like I just feel like I just came here. So it was a long time. 6 years is actually a very long time, but then like it felt very fast for me. It's just because like you have different things to do at different points, and then like you have to switch from one status to the other, like because you have to go through like 4 different status in this entire thing. And obviously there were like periods of time, especially after I got my PR to the time I became eligible for citizenship. That was like a very dull time, those 2 years. And apart from that, like constantly there would be something like you need to get a document, or you need to update your status, and you need to switch your status, you need to get a new document, or something is gonna be there like throughout this process. So which will kind of keep you busy, not like really busy, but then like you will have something to do at some point. So because of that, it just really felt like really fast this entire 6 years. And another thing, like I'm not telling this to like scare you or anything. Like another thing, like to do this entire process, to go through this entire process, you have to be really like persistent, and you cannot really like have the giving up attitude, because if you do that, or if you kind of try to like be dependent on someone else, then it's not gonna work in this thing, because most of the time you're gonna be alone, and you're gonna feel that a lot of times. And you can do it like probably you don't care about that is one way how it will work. Or you have to learn like how to fight your like emotions and all that, because I'm very sure like no matter like where you're from, if you come here you're gonna be alone, and at like many different points like you're gonna get emotional. That's gonna hit you a lot. So you have to know like how to tackle that and all that. You have to tackle that. There's like no other way. The only other way is to like just go back and be with your family, which I would not suggest. So you have come here for a reason, and you have to fulfill that reason. So you have to know like why you came here and what is the point of coming here, and you have to go towards that instead of like giving up, or taking a step back or something like that. Just prepare for the worst case for like everything, so that you won't have any like expectation, and then like if something you expect doesn't happen, like it won't be like that bad for you. So it's better to like just keep like a worst case scenario for everything, like any process, like let it be like applying for a PGWP or applying for Express Entry or whatever it is. Like just keep like the worst case scenario, and then do the process from there, so that anything above that will make you feel better. So, and if you ask me if it's worth it to do all these things and to go through all these things, I would say like definitely yes, because it was worth it for me. I can only say like from my side. You might not feel as comfortable as how you felt back home, but I feel very comfortable here. It's a personal comment for myself. It can be different for you, but as a overall, like from what I've been through, I would say like it's worth it. It's very very hard and difficult to come through the stages, but at the end it's worth it. So yeah, that would be like my comment if you ask me whether it's worth it to spend 5 or 6 years and do all these things and go through all these things. Depends on what you want to get out of this. Depends on what you want to do in your life, but for me it's worth it. So that's pretty much it, guys. I hope this video was useful for you. If it was useful for you, please do like, share, comment on the video, subscribe to the channel. Also don't forget to press the bell icon so I get when I post my videos. So that's it for today. I'll see you guys in another video. Till then, it's Manish.